Hey guys, so day one just finished, and as you might be able to tell from our voices, we are exhausted, and we haven't even eaten anything all day for most of us. So I thought we would talk about our overall thoughts on the day. You know, a little bit, we can actually discuss the Nintendo Direct this morning, as well as our impressions of the games we actually got to play since then. So overall, I have to say, like, after going to this booth and going hands-on with everything, like, this was definitely a disappointing day. Like,
yeah,
right? I don't know. It's
kind of a disappointing year for Nintendo. Mm-hmm. It's not patently bad. It's not that the games are terrible. It's just there isn't really a whole lot to play at their booth this year, and that's not surprising given the disappointing digital event.
Right.
Most of it is Star Fox, like basically half. It basically filling in all the spots that Smash Bros. Wii U had. The spots where Smash 3DS last year is now taken up by Zelda, Triforce, Heroes, and then the rest is just all filling in bits and pieces here and there. And you know, we're kind of shocked because we've pretty much covered everything. We got a few bits and pieces here and there, but we're kind of wondering to ourselves, all right, are we just that good, or is there just that little here? And I guess it's a little bit of both.
Well, in years past, we're usually scrambling, like, up until the end of the day, into day two, trying to get all the things covered. And great, we had one more person this year, basically, helping out. But we, like, after a few hours, we pretty much covered everything. Like, we covered all of it for the most part.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, it's weird. So there was less content on the show floor, it seemed. It's hard. It's weird to describe. It's not like last year. So
well, yeah, for sure. We had Mario Maker being so exciting at the World Championships. Then the Direct started out with Star Fox. Like, oh great, what's next? Well, apparently what was next was a little segment about charity at the end of it. And that was it. There was no other giant sort of blockbusters. Even Super Mario Maker can't be really called a blockbuster, even though we're all really excited for it.
I think that's the big thing, and we all talked about this during our little impressions after the digital event. And you know, there's some good games in here. I'm really want to play most of these, but they didn't end the show strongly, and I think that was maybe its fatal mistake.
Some would argue or start it strongly, or do anything strongly.
I know I've seen a lot of complaints about how Star Fox looks, and yeah, there's definitely some rough edges. But it seems to play fine. It does a lot of things right, and I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt for now. I mean, I know a lot of people are also upset the fact that it has no online multiplayer. It's sort of an odd beast. It really does. I think we're really now seeing that rushed development cycle for it, and it's definitely affecting it.
So I actually thought they actually did start pretty strongly, though. I like Star Fox. I at first liked the whole their new angle this time with the Muppets. But it quickly ran out of steam, I thought. And then it culminated with that Mario trailer thing, which, Ash, you were saying, like, you think that's the worst way they've ended since Nintendo Land. Or, yeah, right, or you equated to Nintendo Land.
I kept thinking it was going to build to something.
That's what I thought, too, right.
It basically was Nintendo saying, hey, guys, remember Mario? We love Mario. You love Mario, too. Like, Mario's our mascot, and love Mario because we love him. And it's just like, okay, we get it. It's Mario's 30th anniversary. That's super cool. Mario's an icon, but this is E3. You use this time to announce crazy new games and not end it with a, kind of a self-love fest about your mascot.
Yeah, I thought, here's Mario. You love Mario. Now here's Mario Galaxy 3. Like, yeah!
Yeah, I mean, I had in the back of my mind that they already had said there wouldn't be a Mario Galaxy 3 for Wii U. So I kind of didn't think that would happen, but I thought something.
Yeah.
Anything was going to,
a Sunshine 8 remake.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I want to give Nintendo credit where it's due. To me, it was a very top-heavy E3 for them, because I considered the beginning of their E3 to be Sunday, which was all the Smash Bros.
That's true,
stuff, which
yeah,
was
absolutely.
Awesome. And then that segged into the Nintendo World Championships, where they announced Earthbound Beginnings, which was also awesome. And the championships, I was there for a while, and it was fun. It was really well run, so they did have some good stuff this year. It was just very top-heavy. And then by the time E3 itself actually rolled around, it kind of petered out.
That's a problem, right? They took what a normal amount press conference material and stretched it out over several more days.
Yeah.
And they front loaded it, as you said. And so it didn't make this feel a little bit underwhelming. Now, the crazy thing is, that I kind of discussed briefly early this morning, I mean, this is a conference, though, where we had a new Zelda, an Animal Crossing for Wii U announced, a new Mario & Luigi and Paper Mario game basically announced, and a new Metroid announced. It's just not at all in the forms we quite wanted to see, right? So it's crazy that in a year where all that happened, we were still left underwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mario & Luigi was announced in a form that we wouldn't want. I always expected that to be another 3DS game.
No, it did not. Okay, so not Mario & Luigi,
Right.
Paper Mario. This is Paper Mario.
Yeah,
angle
because
of
we
that.
thought that maybe Paper Mario Wii U was coming.
Right.
And I think also part of the problem, too, is that, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam is probably one of the most exciting games they announced today, but it's not coming till spring of next year. It's very clearly early in development.
Their big surprises were all on 3DS or took the forms of things that we didn't expect or necessarily want in that form. But, do you think the reaction to Mario & Luigi Paper Jam would have been even better if they made it like Paper Mario Brothers in Time, like basically put it on Wii U, have Paper Mario as the base gameplay with Mario & Luigi crossing over into the paper world?
I think so.
Yeah, a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I almost think it's maybe an issue of brand fatigue because it hasn't really been that long since Mario & Luigi Dream Team.
So-
And that was a fine game, but it was so soon.
That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was playing the game today, and don't get me. I mean, it seems right in line with the other games. It's just good,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I've played this like 3 times already. Like, this
Yeah.
is the same core gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. There is some brand fatigue there. Whereas Paper Mario, we've had a true installment, like in the vein of the originals, in over a decade. So
Yeah, and I think the part of that might also be the fact that all the there of course are new assets in there, but the primary sets of assets are all pulled from Dream Team and Sticker Star,
And you can tell.
you can totally
I mean,
tell.
you can. It's so clear that Paper Jam is running on Dream Team's engine. Like it's clearly the same.
And
assets.
I really like Dream Team, but it's still like you're not seeing the newness there, and I think that's affecting it. But I am excited for it. I do want to play it.
it's kind of interesting. We've seen Nintendo do the whole reusing engines thing a lot recently. We had Majora's Mask 3D, which makes sense in that case. We have now Mario & Luigi, and then we have the new Zelda game as well. Like, it seems like Nintendo's really nailing this reusing assets, reusing their development costs, right, in order to eke more out of it.
In a slightly different way. Like, Zelda is a multiplayer one this time around.
Right.
And honestly, I kind of feel that might be their best game here. I got to try it. I had a ton of fun with it. It feels so different from Four Swords Adventures, where that one's
there's
just mostly
3 swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
One guy
other
has
than
just
that-
run around defenseless.
The emphasis, it was always more of a competitive element with a little bit of cooperation in Four Swords. With Triforce, it's just pure co-op, working through dungeons, figuring out puzzles, using the verticality by doing the whole totem system, and figuring out a boss, and having all of you on the same set of hearts. That really ups the challenge here, because you need to compensate for each other and figure out together, and you can't have anybody go off. And I got the fight against Moldorm, and it was interesting because he kept raising his tail up, so he would target a specific player, and that player would have to run while the others hit him from behind. And then later on, he'd raise it up in a level, so you'd have to have one player run off, the other one pick up another player, and then they could slash at him with the tail. And then finally, on the top level, you had to have all 3 stacked up, and it just became progressively more and more difficult to avoid him. And that was a lot of fun. It was a great mix of challenge and teamwork.
Yeah, that was the same for the first boss, who was a gelatinous blob with a sphere inside the middle, and he would slowly raise up, and you would have to stack up too. One thing to note is that this game, I believe you always have to have 3 players. You can't just say, oh, let's try 2 players and go at it. The levels are specifically designed for 3.
It also seems like all 3 of you need to be base level competent, because you had that boss fight where you're like, pick me up, Blue, pick me up.
Blue, where are you? Blue!
Yeah.
I encountered that during the block pushing bit. We were trying to we had to team up together to push a block, and the one Blue...
He kept going in the lava.
Yeah, he kept going in the lava. I'm like, what are you doing? Get over here. And it just The thing is that communication is necessary. You have to tell each other. Like, you can put those little icons up, and those are adorable. I love those icons.
Yeah.
But you really need that communication so you know what you're doing, unless you're all on the same page. And I don't know, but I really like Triforce Heroes. I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, I was going to say, when that happens, you basically have to pick up the guy and throw him at the block he has to lift up or whatever, like water to Helen Keller.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it now. And say the final boss of Triforce Heroes is gonna be Purple Link, getting revenge for being cut from Four Swords. He's
That would be pretty great,
confirmed
actually.
the most expendable Link now. He's the only one who wasn't brought back.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I want to try that game. That's one of the only games I think that I haven't really tried yet at Nintendo's booth. But it looked cool, yeah. And it has online, which is great because it kind of needs it these days.
That's what's so weird. Nintendo is so selectively forward-thinking.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're going to give Triforce Heroes online, but Star Fox Zero, And it's like, they're so selectively making sense. I don't understand. It's so weird.
I don't get it. Like, Star Fox is known for having dogfights, right? Like, that is a perfect game for online.
I just don't. I don't understand it.
I don't
really
get it.
Don't.
So let's talk Star Fox real quick. I think we all had some hands-on time with it, right? Oh, except for you, Derek.
I did
right?
not. The funny thing is I got there right away. I was first in line, but I wanted footage. I didn't want to play.
You'll get our chance tomorrow at another booth tour. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. But it was like, it drove me nuts. And then the guys that showed up to play had never played Star Fox before, so I'm like, oh no. And I just,
of course,
watching them try to struggle with it, especially when it was a new play style, which listening to it and watching, I was like, this doesn't sound that hard. Just use the basic, keep your hand steady, use the regular controls whenever you need to, like classic Star Fox, and you can shoot them down and have no troubles. And then when you need that more precise aiming, just, tilt, and there you go. It's like, none of it really seemed necessary to look at your cockpit view on the Wii U. You could sort of approximate on the TV.
No, there are parts where you have to look at the gamepad.
Oh, really?
Because
precise aiming mode, right? To find the weak spots.
Well, I think there's that, but there are parts where the TV goes into like a cinematic view, and you literally really can't aim unless you're looking at the gamepad to see. Like, there's one part that you have to fight. Like, there's a UFO
boss.
or something, or a boss. You have to shoot parts of it off so you can fly inside of it.
I saw that. I was watching the TV while that was happening. It seemed like I was getting prepared to look at the gamepad to show what was going on there, but everything seemed to be pretty manageable from what I saw on the TV.
Was he watching the gamepad or TV?
He was watching the gamepad.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you can't. The thing is, it shows you a cinematic view of your ship. Like, with or not necessarily cinematic, it focuses on a central point of the thing you're targeting, but you can't aim that way, so you have to use the gamepad.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Have a
where it
sideways
makes sense.
view of the
I
ship
see.
at the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's weird. I actually quite liked. I especially like what I saw of the Star Fox in the Direct. I guess some people had issues with it. I didn't really have those issues, and I actually liked what I've played so far of it, which is I think one mission and what I've seen. So I tried both. I think. No, I tried one. I just tried one mission.
Corneria
The first
mission.
Corneria. Yeah. I will say though, based on that, I am not super into the controls yet. Like, it feels like it's more complicated than it should be.
Yeah.
Like, where you have the right. Yeah, actually, you know too. Like, you have the right stick now for boosting, and for whatever reason that is also how you do the barrel rolls.
And I didn't
right?
like that at all.
Yeah, I don't like that at all either.
So
right?
yeah, you have to click the right stick, right or left twice, do a barrel roll.
To
Instead
tap
of the
it, yeah.
R shoulder or tap it, yeah. And then up to boost and down to brake, and it just wasn't as intuitive.
It wasn't because then you also have, and maybe there are shortcuts too, but then you have like X for the loops, B for the U-turns, and then on top of that you have the motion controls for moving the cursor independently of your ship if you want. And then you look at the gamepad during all this, which that's the part I probably dislike the most. I am not a fan of switching my viewpoint between things, between screens, especially in an action-packed game like Star Fox.
It was very disorienting.
It is, right? I was completely.
Yeah.
I'm like, during that fight, I'm like, am I looking at the TV or the gamepad here?
Yeah, I mean, I was fighting Pigma in Area 3, and the AI is actually pretty. It's not a hard fight, but it stays on you, and
Right.
Pigma will get behind you, and you have to do a loop, and he'll get right back behind you, and you have to do it again, and it's a pretty intense fight. But I just got so disoriented having to switch between the gamepad and the TV, and I feel like this is kind of suffering. Maybe it might suffer from the same problem Kirby and the Rainbow Course did, where this is a good-looking game at least, but you don't get to really enjoy how good it looks because most of the gameplay you have to look at your gamepad.
Right.
And the screen is nice, but it's not nearly as nice as an HD screen. And I don't know. I hope there will be an option at least to play the entire game on the TV. But knowing Nintendo and knowing Miyamoto and how they want to force the gamepad, functionality, I don't think there will be.
That's the problem, because
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with them using gamepad function. Like, I want them to use a gamepad.
Yeah.
The problem is they're finding uses where you don't need it or even
Yeah.
want it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
There's an example in the trailer where your ship is up against another UFO, and you kind of see a line coming from it with one of those little robots inside for stealth. I mean, then you can look at the gamepad. That makes sense. But not during the main course level.
Go ahead. The only thing I have an issue with Star Fox with, and I generally did enjoy my time with it.
no,
but-
I did too. Like,
but-
these are...
Yeah. I mean, but
these are just concerns right now. But.
I mean, I noticed that a lot of now this may just be placeholder stuff, but I noticed that a lot of the lines, the spoken dialogue, were lifted straight from Star Fox 64, and I have to say that it generally felt. I know it's not a remake, but it does feel like another reimagining.
It does, right? How many
It
times have
doesn't
you
feel like a
reimagined?
sequel. It
Right.
feels like it's just we're going back to the beginning again, and that's tiring.
Like-
it's like we played Star Fox and Star Fox 64.
I mean,
and
just look at the layout of Corneria. You start off over
Yeah.
the water, you fly through the town or
Yeah.
the city with the robots throwing stuff at you. Then you're reaching. Then you pass a secret area on the right that we haven't figured out how to open yet. I'm
Yeah.
sure we will soon. And then you reach an all range mode at the end. It's the exact same.
And even the villains that are talking to you in the boss fight, they
Right.
have the same portraits. They look the same, and a lot of the lines, as I said, are the same. It feels like it's like not a it's like a half remake kind of. It's like they almost feels like they were too afraid to make an entirely new Star Fox game, so they wanted to make a somewhat new one based on what they've already done, and that's just. It's disappointing to me, and I don't know. I mean, I kind of thought it's gotten a little funny with like Crystal and Panther and all those weird characters, and I kind of wanted to see him return. It's kind of sad to go back to basics. Like now, Peppy is a pilot again, and
Right.
and before he had kind of graduated to being their commander. Like
That's true,
There
yeah.
was some growth in that universe, and I think it's kind of a waste to throw it all away again. You know?
We should move on to a new animal enemy and compromise
Yeah.
with another series and add in space gremlins.
I am so in Space K rule.
Yeah.
yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I actually did. That actually probably is my favorite game I played so far. I actually did enjoy it. I had some issues with it, some concerns that could turn into bigger issues potentially. But I liked what I saw, and I think it's promising. The lack of online, like, don't get that. Like, why isn't there online?
Yeah,
Platinum should be able to do online.
yeah, and that's something else. Why would they not announce that Platinum is working on Star Fox
That's a
during
huge-
their digital event?
Right?
I don't-
They've done that before, I'm sure, with
Yeah.
another big developer.
Well, they do seem to be. They often like do hide. Well, yeah, I guess I don't know. It's
Well,
weird.
here's
did
the
it
thing
before.
with Metroid Prime. God, I can never remember the subtitle for
Ball
that.
Blast.
Not Ball Blast and Federation.
Federation, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Federation Force.
Federation Force.
Let's call
Thank
it
you.
Federation Friends.
Yeah, there you go. I think I heard later that's actually being developed by Next Level Games.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
And
Wow.
Yeah. So one, where's the personality that we usually see from
I
Next
know.
Level? Two, they didn't announce that at all, which might be helped it a little bit. But here's the thing: I don't think we've ever seen a dislike ratio like we have
That's
with
strong.
Metroid Prime. Like, we've screwed up major before, and we've never gotten that many dislikes. And looking at Nintendo's channel and seeing the amount of dislikes for it, the fact that somebody linked me on Twitter that there's a change.org to petition and cancel the game. People hate this.
Yeah, I mean that's getting a little bit. That's
going, yeah.
that's getting nuts. Like, it changed.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't change.org doesn't help anything.
But I mean, there is something to be said for, like, it kind of gets back to like what I was talking to you guys about, how it seems like they're just kind of running the Metroid IP name into the ground, right?
Yeah,
Like, this is-
it does. It frankly, to me, feels a little insulting as a Metroid fan to have these two games that are clearly were not developed as Metroid games. I mean, it's obvious that they slapped the Metroid Prime logo on there and they gave it that IP identity just to sell more copies. But it's insulting because Metroid is one of their, it's one of their most storied brands. Samus is one of their biggest characters, and I know that they're having trouble figuring out how to, what next new Metroid game to make. But don't slap it on a completely unrelated concept. I mean, it's just, it feels so cheap. It really cheapens the brand.
It's funny seeing the reaction to Blast Ball when it was first revealed at the World Championships. Nobody really knew what to make of it, but it was like, okay, guns with soccer with guns. Okay, I can kind of get behind that. Nothing great, but simple enough, and maybe it'll be a little bit of fun. As soon as they attach Metroid Prime to that, people turned. It's like, no.
Yeah.
This is not what we want. If it was just a simple game on its own, we can kind of get to it. But as soon as you attach that, and it's just, it makes no sense. It looks like nothing in the Metroid universe at all.
$7.99 eShop game is what it should be.
Yeah, that's what it does seem like, right?
Yeah, and that's when. But I think that's exactly why they did it. It was a $7.99 eShop game that they knew wasn't probably going to sell anything. So
Right.
we'd have to figure out a way to sell this. Let's just call it a Metroid game.
But that's the crazy thing is that we have Next Level Games working on
Yeah.
it, and they had that concept for a new type of Metroid that before, where they had like the lithe armor, the sort of more cartoony look, and just a different look to it.
Yeah.
That I'd much rather have that than this.
I mean, and here's the ironic part. I mean, we played it. We played Metroid or Blast Ball, and it was fun.
Was it a blast?
It was a blast, and it had balls.
I had a ball.
It had a ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was generally pretty fun. It was entertaining.
It controlled well with the strafing, for sure. Like, we were able to win pretty easily.
The strafing worked well. The only thing I thought was a little strange was that the demo units were new 3DSs, but it didn't use the C-Stick.
Yeah, that was
that's
really
the
weird.
Kind,
Yeah.
exact kind of
Yeah.
games
Does
that
it?
would need to use it.
No.
Now, maybe that's just because it's not ready yet.
Yeah, it could be.
But if that game shipped without C-Stick support, why?
Right.
That is
Yeah.
exactly the kind of game that should use the C-Stick.
Well, it's a very selectional picking by Nintendo, like the online stuff. It's like selectional using of the C-Stick.
Yeah.
So did you guys try the Mario Tennis game? Was it a Smash? Something?
Ultra Smash.
Ultra
I did
Smash,
not.
yeah.
I did.
Yeah, so I think
did.
then us three tried it. What do you think?
Mario Tennis. I mean,
So I'm actually a big Mario Tennis fan, at least of the 64 one, and a little bit less so the GameCube one. The one on 3DS left me cold, and I'm feeling the same way with this one.
Really?
Because the problem is, like in those, it just turns to in the 3DS one, it just turned into a point-by-point thing. Like the circle appears, you run to the circle, you get the power up, and you hit the ball from there. And that's the same mechanic here, basically. Well, and now they added the power ups as well, where you get bigger. So I didn't find it to be like that interesting.
I couldn't really tell what the Mega Mushrooms actually did other than make you bigger. I mean, it didn't seem like it made a huge gameplay difference. I mean,
I guess slightly faster.
it just seems
yeah,
like a
more
gimmick.
powerful.
more than
It
anything.
does.
You get bigger, more powerful. I guess when you hit a ball, maybe the other guys slid back further.
That
I
could
found
be.
a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the one thing I did notice about Ultra Smash that I actually liked was the facial expressions when they win or lose. They're actually really inspired. Like, they're really funny.
Yeah.
And it really adds a lot of character to the game. It doesn't really make the game more fun to play, necessarily, but the way they react when they win or lose is actually funny.
The character actually does seem pretty good in that game because you
Yeah.
can even taunt at any point and like they do
Yeah.
a little animation. So I don't know. I mean, that I think that was just a mode in the game. I'm guessing there's probably more to it than that.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
So yeah, and Mario Tennis. I mean, even the 3DS one wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't a great game.
Right.
All right. Any other Nintendo games we haven't really covered yet?
Well, what do you guys think?
Mario Maker.
Mario,
Maker.
yeah.
Yeah. So that I mean,
Super Mario.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah, even during our interview today, which will be going up soon with the developers of the game. I think that to me is a highlight besides Star Fox. I mean, we just knew about it going in, of course.
Yeah.
But Super Mario Maker, like, I'm totally on board with. Like, I love everything I'm seeing about that game.
I am too. I've gone from being last year kind of being cold about it, like, this isn't really the kind of thing I play, but whatever, sure, to being really, really hyped for it because they've taken it so far beyond what I thought they were going to. Like they really are going so all out creative with it, and I love all the redesigned enemies from future, like later Mario games, and they kind of reimagined in 8-bit. And you can literally do anything. Like you can have like wigglers swimming underwater, carrying piranha plants, carrying whatever. It's crazy all the combinations of things you can do.
Oh man, they got the warp pipes too. Warp pipe.
Yeah, I mean, I just love how it seems like a very robust creation system, and it looks great. It's great. I really like it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play a lot, but I'll make a ton. And see, with the warp pipes trying today, it's pretty easy. Just plunk it there. You drag Mario down in the warp pipe that goes into another room. You create this little other small room, add another exit pipe, put Mario in it, and then you're back into the... It automatically sends you back into the main level for design. It's really
handy.
easy to use and intuitive.
Nice.
And I think it'll... Sorry, you're gonna... I also think that for me, a big game changer for Super Mario Maker for me was the amiibo support, which is maybe my favorite kind of amiibo support that we've seen yet.
It's pretty great.
I mean, we played as Wii Fit Trainer in one of the stages, and they're so cool. I mean, they don't change gameplay, but they are literally like tiny 8-bit sprites of all these different characters, and that's so neat.
And you can hear her like saying little like her exercise
Instead
routines.
of a jumping sound effect,
Right.
you'll hear Wii Fit Trainer say something, and I already mentioned this to you guys earlier, but if Mega Man's compatible, done. That is my favorite amiibo support.
Well, you even mentioned that to the rep there. He's like, yeah, that'd be awesome,
Yeah,
right?
and of course he didn't know. Or
Right,
wouldn't
no,
say,
that
which
wasn't,
is-
yeah.
But that's I love that.
Well, with all that, we'd have Sonic in a Mario game. We'd have Pac-Man. We'd have just all these great. I guess Ryu.
Yeah, that's true.
It's such a not exactly a groundbreaking thing, but it's nice to have and like a fun little extra. And that's where amiibos kind of shine. Where you don't need it, but hey, it's kind of cool if you have it.
Yeah.
So what? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, we found out today that basically you won't get any special abilities from them, but you do have the neat different sound effects and a different ending animation at the end of each level, basically.
Interview
The trailer
spoilers.
sliding
Yeah,
down the flag
interview
animation's great.
Oh, it's so good, right?
So funny. Yeah.
Sideways. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
I
good.
can't wait to see what other ones they come up with.
Yeah.
So are they limited only to the 8-bit levels, or do they level up like?
We don't know.
We don't know. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and I had someone on Twitter asked me that too, and we haven't seen evidence of that happening in anything but the 8-bit levels.
I wouldn't be
So,
surprised if it is limited to just
Yeah,
8-bit.
I mean
or
that's,
they were
that's a lot of extra work.
It is.
Yeah.
And also, when I was making a level today, they limited the number of items to about 20. They're not even Hammer Brothers to create the giant Hammer Brothers monstrosity on a flying Koopa. So I was disappointed.
Well, speaking of disappointed, what do you guys think about Iwata basically explaining or trying to justify or apologizing rather for their showing today?
I mean, it's good that they're listening. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what they expected though. I don't think Nintendo's that tone deaf. I mean, they had to have gone into this knowing that the reactions weren't going to be amazing, and they didn't have any Megaton announcements.
I don't think they expected it to be this bad.
But when you absolutely dry, I mean, they're already on thin ice with Metroid fans. But when you take that and then just drive the brand into the ground like that, what were they expecting with that?
Yeah.
I mean, no one was going to react to that. Like, that's a level of tone deafness on Nintendo's part that surprises me.
That Animal Crossing Wii U unveiling was the most trollish move.
That too,
right?
like, and it just seemed, in general, it seemed like a really tone deaf year for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, who there thought that Animal Crossing
board
Amiibo Festival would be well received when what everyone wants is Animal Crossing Wii U.
Right.
It's
And I'm trying to figure out where the game element to it is, because we didn't see mini games. We just saw them having a little different situations. So it's a lot of people started comparing it to Monopoly. So I'm wondering if it's actually more along the lines of Animal Crossing Fortune Street.
Which who's gonna buy that? Like
Animal Crossing fans.
I guess, but I mean, I just don't know what they were thinking with that in Metroid. It's just a strange thing.
I mean, I think you were saying earlier, right? Like, it feels like they're winding down Wii U support.
That's the sad. I mean,
Yeah.
that's and I kind of, as I walked around the show floor, the Nintendo floor, I just kept having this sad, kind of just slightly sad feeling, because it really feels like, to me, the Wii U should just be getting started, or at least it should be in its height now. But if it this year, it really feels like it's winding down, and it's sad to me because I love the Wii U. I know business wise it hasn't sold well, and that's Nintendo's fault. But it's just unfortunate. Like, the Wii U should be in its prime right now, and it feels like it's winding down.
Metroid
it should
Prime.
be. It's 3DSs instead. Yeah, it's basically like they're taking measures to ensure there'll be enough games for the NX, which they did mention, but they said wait till 2016. Make sure they have a solid launch for that, and sort of say, well, it's a lost cause for Wii U in a way, or we'll do what we can for it, but there's not too much at this point.
I mean, Miyamoto had to reconfirm specifically today. I can't remember where he did it, but I think it was on the Treehouse stream. He had to specifically reconfirm that Zelda is still coming to Wii U, which says everything. The fact that people were that worried about it, because it's clear that the Wii U just doesn't have the presence it needs.
Wow.
That he had to specifically say, yeah, Zelda's still coming, don't worry.
It could come to Wii U. It could also come to NX.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess situation all over again.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised. I predicted there'd be a trailer for it, and there wasn't. And they really could have used one. They really could have used one.
And then here's the other big elephant in the room: Retro Studios.
Right?
What happened?
Because they had retweeted that thing, which, I mean, admittedly is very weak, but then it has corresponded before to their announcements. And we haven't seen, Tropical Freeze was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And apparently they are a bigger studio now than they've been in the past.
Yeah,
so.
they've been talking about that.
Right.
How Miyamoto thinks they can handle working on multiple games at once now, and they've ramped up their production speed. And I'm sure whatever they're working on is going to be awesome. But they needed that needed to be part of this presentation today. Like, everyone expected it to be, and they clearly had little else to talk about.
It does seem like Nintendo is... I mean, we've seen it before where they will announce more games, like, shortly after E3 even, right?
They did that last year, or was it?
I think it was last year.
Or
yeah.
maybe the year before, where it was like the 3DS XL. It was 2 years ago or something. The 3DS XL came right after E3.
Right. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's entirely possible you're going to do something like that this year. They probably have more announcements left that they haven't fully unveiled yet. It is a bummer, though, seeing what happened from E3. Like, I mean, and that's not good for their image, right? Like that.
Yeah, and I mean, and there are like 4 or 5 stations on the Nintendo floor dedicated to Smash, which also says a lot.
Yeah.
Not that Smash isn't awesome, but it's an evergreen title, and that's great, but they had so little else that they had to fill 4 or 5 stations with Smash.
Yeah.
Obviously showing the new DLC, but it's the concept I'm talking about.
Right.
It's like, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is one company that had a worse convention or conference than Nintendo, Square Enix.
Yeah.
And the games announced, I mean, the games themselves look fine. It's the conference that I just heard people complaining about how boring it was, how they didn't really show much. And if they can make a game as just nuts as Just Cause 3 boring, what the hell were they doing?
It looked very businessy. It looked like a very businessy, kind of just dry conference.
Very stiff.
Yeah.
And, but hey, we got a new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer.
And
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
But I really thought that we would maybe see a Dream Drop Distance HD announced, and that would come out this year, and then next year by holiday we'd have Kingdom Hearts 3, or maybe spring of 2017, something like that. Relatively closer, and it still says in development. There's nothing there. It's almost like, okay, we have a little bit more idea of what they're doing and what we're doing with this game, and it's just.
Well, I will say, I don't think you should close the book on Kingdom Hearts 3D HD just yet. I think something like that is more likely to be announced at Jump Fest or Tokyo Game Show. I do genuinely believe that's still going to happen. E3 maybe not, but I think that's inevitable, basically. So I would say late this year, TGS, Jump Fest, to look for it. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe. But the trailer itself, I mean, it showed off more of the gameplay. We got to see a new world with Tangled. We showed off more of the rides and the teacups and all that stuff. There's a lot to like about that trailer.
I mean the visuals.
Oh, the visuals are
my
amazing.
God. I mean, the gameplay footage is insane. It looks so good.
And then we also have Kingdom Hearts Chi coming out to mobile. Yay.
Yeah, I mean...
Why would you even bring it up, Derek?
Yeah, Derek.
Because I'm the Kingdom Hearts guy, I have to.
And then I don't know if they announced... I don't think they announced it. It's a new Nier game, which is cool for fans of that.
Nier 2, which apparently is also being developed by Platinum.
Right. They're everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, beyond that, it was Just Cause 3, and then stuff we already know about, like Deus Ex. And
New Star Ocean, which is good for those fans.
We already knew about that, though. So.
Did we?
Okay. Star Ocean 5, yeah.
Oh, okay. I did get the chance to play Ratchet and Clank on PS4, and I'm a huge fan of that series. And it's cool to see it so related to the movie, and it's related to the movie, but it's also a remake. And the writing was great, the graphics were great. I cannot wait to play more of that. It really is. Like, I'm super excited to play more of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I've seen of it. So, the trailer footage, it's looking really nice. I want to go and play it tomorrow if I can. I did get a chance to run over to South Hall really quickly and play just 10 minutes of Mega Man Legacy Collection. I played some Mega Man 2. And you know what? It's the real deal in terms of emulation. I mean, these games have never looked better. The 1080p, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's an NES game in 1080p, no big deal. But if you're into preserving these classics like I am, these games have never looked better. There's a little input lag. I don't know if it's TV or what. I played the Xbox One version. Wasn't crazy about the input lag, but I mean, audio visually, it's the real deal, and they've got all the extra modes available to look through. So I'm gonna check that out tomorrow. But as a hardcore Mega Man fan, I think it's very promising.
All right, I think that about wraps up for us here. So thanks, guys, for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain for more stuff like this. And we'll be having individual discussions for each of the games once we all play them and play more of them, so we can speak a little bit more about them specifically, the pros and cons of each of them, give in-depth impressions, and yeah, we'll have more from the show floor tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and bye.